I've come to realize the problem here is not the problem is you come off like you know everything and
I
you didn't
do.
know
I
know
do.
everything and now
I
you're
do.
regretting stuff.
I do. Yeah, I do regret a lot of things.
What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the amazing, the wonderful, the awesome Holly. What's up, Holly?
Hi.
See, I come in full energy, man. I'm all.
I love
Yeah,
that. I love that you
yeah.
hype me up. You're
Okay.
the biggest hype man.
All right. Well, now I'm gonna go to sleep. But anyway, listen, I got a serious question because I think at this point in the game, a lot of people, and I'm finding a lot of people talking about this. I've seen a lot of people that have restarted their towns, which blows me away that it's even
I
happening.
almost did, but didn't.
So my question to you is, what are some tips that you wish you had known when you started playing Animal Crossing New Horizons?
Okay, number one, it has to be, I wish I didn't bother with my layout at all. I wish I just put
At all?
together. Because when terraforming came in, I ended up having to move everything again. So all the bells that I'd spent moving stuff in the first place to kind of create like a little area before a terraforming,
Yeah.
I just wish I hadn't wasted that money. So to me, it felt like a waste because I moved everything. So
Okay, so I disagree with that in this reasoning. I wish I would have realized that I was never going to be able to move the town hall. I thought that, like, maybe something would be... I just assumed that, like, hey, the people that are talking about it, they don't really know what they're talking about. Of course we can move everything. Of course we're going to be able to move that. You can't move it. And...
Nintendo, why?
Yeah, and that makes no sense to me. Because, like, I'm not really 100%... I love my island. The one thing that I don't like is where my town center is. My town hall. And... I would, for that fact, I would just go, be very careful when you're picking out your island layout. Just pay attention to, what I would pay attention to if I was picking my island out, pay attention to where your dock is.
Yeah.
Pay attention to where your airport in proximity to your town hall is.
Yeah.
And pay attention to where your rivers exit the island. Because you can't move any of that stuff that I just named. No. So if you're not happy with it, you're not going to be happy with it ever. And the crazy thing is going into the game fresh, you're really not going to know what you like and don't like until you start playing, which is sad. But my recommendation would be, like, if someone was to tell me, I would be like, make sure, for me personally, I would make sure that the airport lines up with the town hall, and then the town hall is back away a little bit, not right up on top of the airport. That would be my only recommendations. And the reason why I say that is, it allows you to create a grand entrance when people arrive on your island. Mine is offset, so my town hall or my airport is here, and then my town hall is off to the right a little bit. So when you come off, you got to work your way to the right to get there, and I can't build a grand entrance to the you know what I mean? So it bothers me a little bit. I would have loved to know that going in and would have fixed it.
Yeah, I feel like the only reason I feel like how I do is because I have moved stuff around so many times, and I didn't really realize how good terraforming would be and actually how much I would use it. So then I kind of put all this time and bells into kind of moving stuff around to then when I unlocked terraforming, I was like, oh great, well that was kind of for no reason. But I agree with what you say in terms of, like, when you're picking out a map, check those things.
Yeah.
Very important. I went with the first one. I didn't soft reset. I went with the first one I found. Yeah. I was just excited to play, I think.
Yeah, I think that was the case with me too. Yeah. The other thing I would do is not waste so much money on bridges. So I did a video very early on where I did these terraform bridges. And a lot of people were just like, they're ugly. But man, I spent so much money on bridges to only turn around and tear them bridges out and re-put bridges in. So for me, and not only that, like, it takes a day to build a bridge. Like, for me, my recommendation would be this. Build these fake bridges, which are basically all you do is you just terraform across the gap, and then you could stone path them, and then you put walls up, and it gives the aesthetics of a bridge.
Yeah.
It's not permanent. It's only a short period of time. You're not doing it long term. Then, once you kind of feel where the bridges are and where you like and where you don't, then you can go and spend the money to put the bridges that aesthetically you like, and where you put them is where you like. The inclines, that's just, you got to just kind of figure it out on your own. There's nothing you can do about that. Yeah. But, like, for me, I spent so much money and wasted so much money on bridges and moving them and waiting and all that, where you can just put these things in temporary and have it to go, and that would be my way, or my suggestion on that.
Yeah. Another one that I have, I don't know if you ran into this, Bobby, but so I wish I'd known that Celeste being on your island does not always mean you'll have an abundance of shooting stars.
Yeah.
So this is what I learned. So when you have a meteor shower, Isabel will announce it when you log in.
Yeah.
And that's when you get so many, one after the other, two at one time sometimes. So when Celeste would come to my island, I would assume that that's what that meant, but that wasn't. So I'd spent hours waiting for stars for only 2 or 3 to show, because when Celeste is there, it just means that you can get them. There'll only be a few.
But it's more about the DIY than it is anything else with her.
Yes, definitely. But I wish I'd kind of known that the two weren't kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know, they are different. So
the other thing I wish I would have known is everything that you think you know going into this game, based off of what you did in New Leaf, will not work.
Yeah.
Number one, hybrids.
Yeah.
They kind of work a little bit differently in this game than in previous games. Some hybrids, you don't even have to do what you had to do in other games. You don't even have to water flowers in this game. You literally cannot touch a flower and you're fine. For whatever reason, they don't wilt, they don't do none of that. Which then turns into like, hey, the way you used to grow black roses or gold roses doesn't work that way anymore. Now you just actually got to get a gold watering can and water black roses, and it happens. So it's very different. The other thing is, fishing is very different than in New Leaf. Meaning, fishing, if you went to the river, you went to the river. You went to the ocean, you went to the ocean. You have to actually utilize the bait in this game.
Yeah.
You go to the docks, no fish spawn. You may get one, but at the end of the dock, at the end of the pier, there are no fish. You have to literally water or just not water, but you have to spread bait among the water. The tournaments are different than they used to be.
Yeah.
It's more of a point-based system where the other thing too is what they're really pushing with this game, and you don't realize it until you get deep in. They're really pushing the strong community aspect.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you want a better chance of growing hybrids, you need to get a bunch of friends to come in and water your flowers. If you want to get a better chance to win the gold trophy in the fishing tournament, get a bunch of friends to come in and fish with you. So it's definitely a little different to do. The other thing is Nook's Cranny.
Yeah.
It's so different from previous games. It is nowhere near the same setup or anything. So far, we only believe that there's 2 stores, where I believe there was 4 in the previous versions.
Yeah.
And so we don't even know if Nookington's is coming. It also doesn't change the name of the store from Nook's or Nook's Cranny to the next, like Nook and Go and all that. Yeah. But the reason why I mention that is, before it was like, hey, if you spent X amount of dollars, it upgraded. This is now based off of dollars, time, all that stuff. There's a big drastic difference between the way it used to be.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think. Another one, actually, that I wish I had known. Kind of on the fence about this one, though. So, the first few villagers I found on islands, I thought I absolutely had to take those villagers.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that I could maybe save up a few tickets. Thing is, though, at the start it was a bit different, because now it's literally used like currency, whereas when it first came out, it was like, oh gosh, I've got to grind for these tickets, and I've got, they were like gold dust, really. To me, they felt like gold dust.
Yeah.
So I took the first 3 villagers I found. I'd save up, get a ticket, and then I'd go and just get whoever. But I wish I'd known that actually you can go to multiple. Like, you can get to an island and say, oof, no, hideous. See you later.
Yeah.
You know.
No, you're right. Because when I went the first time, I was like, well, I guess I got to grab this person. And I just grabbed them and brought them back, you know?
Yeah,
so,
it's like that.
I think that there's probably a lot more stuff that, you know, and we've only touched the tip of the iceberg, and maybe we'll do a follow-up video later on. But what I would like to do is have, if you're watching this, leave a comment down below of your tips that you wish you had known. And maybe we will do a follow-up video next week, and we'll use some of your tips and all that. So do that. Yeah. Leave that in the comments down below. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please slap the like button down below. Share it with all your friends. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Hit the bell. Not just because so you know what's going on around here, but this way you can avoid this channel at all costs. You know, if you're not a fan of what we're doing here, the best way to just stay away is to subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll know when we're going live, and you'll go, well, I'm going this way. This guy's here. We're going this way. Trust me.
That's what I do.
It works. It works. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, also, you can follow me Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. Same aspect. Just hit subscribe, follow, all that stuff. Do that. You can follow Holly over on Twitter at Holly Crossing with 2 eyes. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Bye.